Hey y'all. What if being unapologetically me is exactly what sets someone else free? I'm Melinda Dawn, your host at Unapologetically Yours. I give and speak with my whole heart so others can show up as their true selves, loved without limits. So, I took some notes. If you guys have been with me for a while, if you've watched the last couple of things, you knew that this episode was coming, Dating 105 instead of 101. And I took notes. I also recorded some audio clips, and my thought was I knew at least one of them, I had some good stuff, and I was going to try to figure out how to incorporate that, so splice it in, I don't know, like have a backdrop screen just with the word dating 105, so y'all could just hear it, right? I didn't realize how long it was, but I went through a couple of the recordings that I made in the car because I didn't want to lose that information. In one of them, there was a movie playing in the background, so it has music, so that's going to get flagged. So I typed all of that out, which was time consuming. It was time consuming. And I'm a fast typist, but apparently I talk faster than I can type. So anyway, I'll be looking at notes. It really is the ultimate point. And then also there will be a moment where I probably play a recording. So just giving you a heads up. So dating. Ooh, it's almost 2026. So dating in 2025 and 2026 is crazy. And I only know vicariously, although I don't want to know. I really don't want to know vicariously, but I learn these things mostly through my friends, and the secondary thing is threads. That's because Threads is something else. If you have not been on it, you might like it. You might. I love it. Matter of fact. So anyway, people can write their stuff that, will pop up on your screen, or they can select a topic. Sometimes there's topics that are trending. So right now is the 50 Cent documentary, which I haven't seen yet, but I guess I'm going to have to watch it and talk about that. Provide some insight that I've seen from some other people that I thought was very interesting. So, anyway, dating. I'm so sorry, y'all. I'm so sorry that y'all are having to deal with some of the things that you're dealing with. Now, I'm going to rewind. So, one of my friends in the past was seeing this guy, and she was about that dude. And turns out a lot of people were about that dude, and there are Facebook pages that they're called, like, are you also dating, or like, are you dating my man? And his face was in there, with a couple of the names that he goes by. And like, I was married at the time, but she told me about it and she had me join, and it was just like so rough. I had to like get off of that. I'm like, I'm not trying to invite that kind of energy into my eyeballs or my world or my space. But yeah, just brutal, man. And I'm certain that it triggered things within me from the infidelity that I experienced in dating. Just, like when you get the gut feeling, well, not everybody gets the gut. I get the gut feeling. And then I pursue it until I get to the bottom of it. And there was one particular person, and I don't know if it was just that he was bad at it, like bad at cheating, bad at not getting caught, or if I was just so in tune to, I don't know what it was, but not every time, definitely, yeah, but there was the feelings, there were that's rough. that's rough, man. And obviously it's not just men who cheat, women cheat too, and it's brutal. It's heartbreaking. It's gut wrenching. It's yuck. It's yuck. So anyway, all right. So that's not on my notes. So what I have here is my spazzy moment. Okay. So one of my friends, this was like, I feel like it was 2 guys ago, but like ants, y'all. I'm outside, and let me just get in tune with nature. I'm one with nature. And yeah. All right, let's try that. Okay. Ants, please. Thank you for coming to see me, but no thank you. I do not need you crawling on me, freaking me out. Okay. All right. So 2 guys ago, and here's the thing, this particular person, and we likely have all done it, like you date the same guy but with a different face. So 2 guys ago, but the last 2 guys were the same. Y'all even had the same profession. I can't make this up. So anyway, I had a spazzy moment. I was at her house to meet him, and a mutual friend was also there, and so she's talking to him and stuff, but I'm talking to him, and she's interrupting me because she can't help herself, because she's like me. And y'all, my mania kicked into high gear, and I was just like rapid talking and like asking crazy questions or saying crazy things, which reminds me, I years ago met a guy that a different person was dating, and I also asked crazy ass questions. I was in a weird, let me not say weird, whatever. I was in a different headspace, whatever. Okay, so here's the deal. After that, he was kind of shy, right? This guy. But turns out, y'all, they be blaming everything on bipolar. I get so offended. Oh, the weather's bipolar. Is it? Maybe you're bipolar. Okay, here's the deal. It was very easy for that guy to like blame me, but turns out he was the type of person to isolate his partner. The kind. Those are the in this case, because I'm talking about a female friend, so all guys, I understand, are not like this, but the type of guy who tries to destroy the person he's seeing, right? The energy vampires, right? The ones who are the literal Death Star, and they want to absolutely kill your spirit. All right, they get off on it. Okay, so the Voldemorts of the world, and yes, I said the name. So dating can suck, but it can also be glorious and amazing. It has its ups and downs and all of those things. But part of the deal is, in dating, sometimes you wind up attracting maybe who you are or where you're at in your life. Okay, so what do I mean by that? Like, if you're grieving, or if you feel that all men are liars and cheaters, guess what's going to come up into your queue? Liars and cheaters. So it's very important what you believe, what you think, your view on men, your view on yourself, your view on women, if etc. Right? If you have a particular life, a way of life, a way of speaking of yourself, maybe you're great in a lot of different areas, but you don't feel great in dating. Maybe you believe in yourself at work, right? But you don't believe yourself or in yourself when it comes to love. Also, there are a lot of women out there, men too, who've experienced various types of abuse, And when you're not healed from that, you can attract someone who would take advantage of that lack of healing. And on the opposite side, when you believe in yourself, so I'm talking to women at this point, when you believe in yourself, when you know that you are the absolute prize, right? That you recognize, literally, there's studies out there that men do better when they are married. Now, that's a blanket statement that I just made. Just look up the studies. Maybe it's a certain type of men. There's all kinds of people are peopling all over this planet, okay? And so there's a lot of not great women who are out there, and a whole bunch of also not great men who are out there. I'm not talking about that. Maybe I'm talking about in a healthy relationship. Let's start there. A healthy relationship. The wife, when she herself is also a healthy person, makes the husband's life better in so many ways. It's probably even incalculable. I hope I said that right. All right, so you make things better, right? When you are that person, that's what I'm talking about. All right, bye, Aunt. Oh my goodness. It's all gonna be okay. I'm outside. Oh, you know what? My brother-in-law, Michael. He posted this video about how to get recentered, and it's just like a quick little reset, and it's like hands over heart. Take a breath in, pursed lips, and slowly exhale. All right, that worked. Okay. All right, so when you realize, though, that you're the prize, you're going to operate different, right? You're not going to be settling. You're not going to be begging for the breadcrumbs that some people like to give, okay? You're not going to be out there trying to shoot your shot. And no offense, ladies, for those of you who have done it or have done it successfully, good on you, you know? You're the exception to the rule. That's fabulous. That's fabulous. Some of the women who have shot their shot did wind up with a man, only to discover in marriage that she had to continue to do that, and she had to continue to pursue him, and she was in her masculine in doing that, and he remained in his feminine energy. And I don't even mean effeminate, but look, I'm not knocking it. It sounds like I'm knocking it. It sounds like I'm not. Am I knocking it? Maybe I'm knocking it. You know, it's not for everyone. It's not the general best practice. How about that? How about that? Listen, so at this point, I think I can play this. Now, when I first started listening to this, she actually called me. And she said she was going to call me right back, but her call must have taken longer, so I'm going to try to fast forward. My last audio clip, I said something about shooting your shot. I'll just do it from here. You know, males in every animal kingdom. Not every. Chase the woman. It's not the other way around. And look, I'm not a dating expert. I know I personally am close to someone who is a dating expert, and while she's not for everyone, I promise you, if you're a woman, she's for you. Now, do you like everything she says? Probably not. Does it trigger you? Probably so. Are you ready for healing? Because if you're not, you definitely won't like the things that she says. She will cut straight through, but she will she will tell you like it is. But there's a lot of humor in her approach, and there's a lot of beauty in the fact that she's been doing this for decades now, based on a scientific experiment she herself performed, plus her brilliant mind and the resources that she has gleaned from because she is absolutely a studious person. You know, she worked hard for her straight A's. And she was a biology major. Anyway, y'all can look her up on her website, TikTok, Instagram, all of the places. She is at Shay, Shay, Your Love Diva. Shay, Your Love Diva. And she is not in everybody's price range. But the other beautiful thing about her is all of the free content that she gives and all of the content that she provides at reasonable prices. And you know what? The fact of the matter is her prices are high. And guess what? It is worth every penny. Every penny. And I'm talking sometimes it's tens of thousands of dollars. But let me ask you about your worst breakup. How much did that man cost you? One of my worst breakups cost me well over $10,000. I'm gonna say $20,000+, and that was, like 16, 17 years ago. What is that in inflation now? As a matter of fact, let me look it up. $17,000, and so I'm talking I spent money on his teeth, y'all. He was a hobosexual, Hobo. He didn't have a pot of piss in, a window to throw it out of. He didn't have a home. As a matter of fact, that's how he wound up. Oh my gosh, this is so embarrassing. This is how not broken I was, but how hurt I was. How unknowing I was of my magnificence. This man boy, this Build-A-Bear, when he did come to my house, and then again moved in, and it was I want to throw up. He didn't even have a suitcase, y'all. He had his stuff in a black garbage bag. That is a red friggin' flag, I promise you. Because you know what? You could go to the Salvation Army on Wednesday or Saturday. I don't really promote the Goodwill because of their CEO gets all of the money. It seems to at that point not be a charitable organization. However, my neighbor, a neighbor of mine from the history of living in places. I'm not trying to shout you out. Anyway, gets her clothes, got her clothes from the Goodwill, and she was looking fire. All right, so homosexual. They will tell you all. As a matter of fact, I was upset about, a breakup. That really hurt. It did hurt. It hurt. It hurt so bad because he just was, he presented himself as perfect boyfriend material. Maybe that was the damn red flag. OMG. So yeah, he was look at me, we went to the movies, and he was holding my hand, and then he turned to me and looked lovingly in my eyes. Are you happy? And then a week later, turns out his live-in girlfriend, who was supposedly an ex, had been in another country, I think, or maybe they were on a little split. I don't know, because her Mary Kay time-wise facial products were up in that house, which is exactly the same thing I used at the time. I don't anymore. Not because of her, though. Anyway, Mary Kay does have great products. Okay, so anyway, I can't even think of, there's his name. Yep, I remembered his name. Yep, of the jungle. Okay, so that's a hint. Anyway, he turned to me, are you happy? Which I was, this man, can I call him a man? This male adult, there we go. This male adult had me, quickly in love. Have y'all heard the song the John Legend. I know that we just met, but baby, can you love me quickly? Quickly. Oh. Alright, so anyway, the thing is, I had known him before. He used to go to my church, and then he left, and then it turns out, like, another bomb was dropped on me by him, that the leader of the church at the time, when we were in the singles ministry, because he had expressed an interest in me, and it was like, you get permission. Really, it's a cult. It was a cult. I just, period. There's two, you know, if it smells like a cult, acts like a cult, talks like a cult, operates like a cult, it's a cult, right? Anyway, quack, quack. So anyway, I knew him, and, you know, we had been friendly, and so then I saw him out and about, and we exchanged numbers, and this man, he made time for me. Listen, if a man is not calling you, he is not texting you, it's possible that you are just on a list, because if a man was interested in any kind of way, he will make time. He won't answer that call, but really, you should let him be answering the call. And I'm not talking about wait 48 hours, which reminds me of another Threads thing. But anyway, I think I did a screenshot, so I will share that. But oh my gosh, now I've said so many different things all in a short span of time. This man had me falling hard, and then I got this feeling in my gut. And part of what happened is someone encouraged me when I went out of town to not bring my phone, and it was torture for me. And he had reached out, and I didn't see it. And by the time I did see it, then his thing was, oh, well, she came back into town, or she, I told her about you, but because we have a long history, blah, 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 she asked for more time, and I felt like I owed that to her. Okay. So, yeah. Another case of used and discarded, but it's fine. It was a lesson. So anyway, that, and how much is heartbreak? You can't even put a dollar amount on that. So that was the heartbreak that I had, because man, I thought, like, y'all listen, when I met him for one of our first dates, there was... Look, I'm going to pause this real quick, because I just need to add, like, as I'm listening to this, playing it for you, which I'm hoping that I got the phone close enough and not too close to the microphone. I don't even know where the microphone is on this thing. Here's the point. One of the other things that he told me is, now I had not met any of his family members. He's told me, you fit perfectly into my family. I mean, right, y'all? Should have known that was a red flag. Anyway, all right, let's go. A cloud in the sky in the shape of a heart, y'all. A heart, a literal heart. Literal heart. I am certain I took a picture of it. I also wrote a poem about it. And then afterwards, so at this point, I wasn't in church, and that was part of the problem. That was part of the problem, y'all. And so then I did kind of have this epiphany. Maybe that heart wasn't a sign about this guy, but it's a sign from the creator of the universe that he loves me, right? Okay. So, all right. I'm driving in my car. Okay. So then that's when the hobo sexual comes in, and I'm crying over the other dude, and he's like, let me love you. Oh my gosh. I love you, old Melinda. I love you, former Melinda. And look, it all worked out for you. It all worked. Okay, so do not invite a hobosexual into your home, ladies.
Don't do
and
it.
then let me tell you another thing. It sounds all good. They got a job. They've been working. They even drive the company car, because that's what this dude was. I can't even think of which company it was. It was like Spectrum. And then he lost his job. Y'all, that's another big ass red flag when they lose their job. And guess what they don't do? Ever get another one, because they're living high on your life. And at the time, I was driving an Audi, and so he was driving the Audi, and he would, have things to do, places to go. I kind of paused because I thought about a devastation that he a devastating experience. There were several. Oh my goodness. Thank God I escaped. For real. Thanks to a friend who I also knew for years. Lots of history. So anyway, that person strongly encouraged me to get a restraining order on him, which I did, and it was granted. But yeah, the hobosexuals, that's a real thing. And maybe they do have a condo. Like, one of my friends was dating a guy, but mysteriously there's a leak, right, over his bed, which means he don't have a place to live. And apparently he didn't have enough money to freaking have it fixed, right? And so he's living up with her, destroying her spirit in space. Not her spirit. You can never destroy a person's spirit. You could upset a person's spirit. You could... Anyway, I'm not going to get into that. Dating out here, y'all, is rough, and I am grateful to not to be in that situation.
Thank you.
Although, really, you want your marriage to last, you better be dating each other. You better make that a priority. 100%. Because if you don't make it a priority, someone is going to feel neglected. And potentially that happens. It just does. You get so busy, and then you don't even know who each other are, and you put so much focus on your kids and not on each other. So when the kids are grown and get out the house, it's like you don't even know who that person is, and your whole identity was wrapped up in parenthood instead of partnership. So yeah. All right, I'm gonna stop this, and I'm trying to figure out, because this is some good stuff. I'm driving, and I should have just done it in a video form. So I'm trying to think, how do I do this? Maybe I use it in CapCut, and then I splice it into some video episodes. This isn't even the video I wanted to do today, but I was trying to take notes. And I had promised my son not to text and drive, because, oh my gosh, I shouldn't have said that like that. But like, sometimes you're at the red light, and so he doesn't even want me at the red light, y'all. Like, I know that's not a funny thing, and so like, I'm immediately sober. The point is, I was taking notes using voice note, and the phone is on my shoulder, so I don't even know if it's really recording, but I'm almost home, and it is what it is. And I also need to call the school to make sure that my son... All right, the rest is not about dating. And I just yawned, y'all, because I was woken up around 1 o'clock by my daughter, and needed to support her at that time. And then I'm going to do it because I've already started it, so I'm just going to tell y'all. I was up from 1 something until 6, uploading videos to YouTube. So I figured out how to get my RSS feed thing. You podcasters, you know what that's about. And then I realized that even though my episodes became videos on Spotify, whenever you are sharing it or linking it to another podcast space or platform, it doesn't pull the video. So I tirelessly, but I'm facing the tiredness now. That's why I was yawning a moment ago. I stayed up for 4+ hours downloading, uploading videos, and waiting for it to process and publish and all the things. I think I'm in the 40s now. I think I've uploaded up to episode 42, and that gives me about 15 more episodes to put onto YouTube. So maybe you're even watching this on YouTube when you finally see this. So yes, this labor of love. Okay, so in that audio, which I hope you heard, I took some screenshots. I was going to take a nap, but I was afraid that if I took a nap, oh my gosh, it's already 20 after 1. I thought I would just not wake up until it was time to pick up my kids, and I wanted to make sure that I got this in the bag. All right, so dating threads. I talked about Shay. She's the expert. Go check her out. You're welcome. You're welcome if you do that for you. There's things that might sound counterintuitive or counterproductive. For instance, she talks about do not go on a dinner date on your first date, right? Let it be a coffee date, because you're going to saddle yourself up with someone for 2 to 3 hours that you don't know, that you could realize while you're looking at the menu is not the one, and now you're locked in. You're too busy for all of that. I just got hit in the head with a twig. You got too many other important things to do. The other thing that she talks about is dating multiple people at the same time. This is not having sex. This is definitely not having sex. It is most definitely not having sex with these men that you've just met. You're not having sex. You're not having sex, till either you're married or there's a ring on your finger, for people who can't wait or refuse to wait or whatever. Anyway, it's about not wasting your time. Men do it. Men absolutely go on dates with multiple women as they are in pursuit of whatever they're in pursuit of. Sometimes it's a notch on their belt and whatever. That's what you want to do. You're screwing with your soul. And I don't mean any kind of like heaven and hell thing. What I mean is, ladies, men, when you release your DNA into someone, when you receive somebody else's DNA, that can jack you up. Especially if they got some spiritual demon type, whatever stuff. Do y'all want? No, y'all don't want none of that. You do not want to be forever linked, or for a long time linked. Okay, I'm not going to go down that thing. You can see all that stuff on her page. But coffee dates, because you'll figure out in those 15-20 minutes, plus men know right away basically what tier they're going to put you in. Oh, she's a back burner girl, she's a whatever, she's a placeholder until I find the one. Oh, she's interesting, or she's not, or I would XYZ with this person only. Take advantage of your time, be intentional with your time, and you do not have time to waste on a 2-hour date with someone that you don't know, that you haven't vetted yet, that you haven't figured out what he's about yet, which maybe you can on a coffee date. Figure out if you would even want to spend more time. Now, he may not want to spend more time with you afterwards, which is totally fine, because you got a next coffee date with somebody else. Anyway, that's one of the things that people kind of like are in an uproar about. There's a lot of women out there who's like, oh, he needs to spend money. I I deserve dinner and da 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 da. I mean, is that what you're going on a date for? So you can get some food in your belly? Do you need to work overtime, honey? I don't know. They a lot of women call it low effort. It's not low effort. Guess what? If he's the type of man that you probably want, he's probably busy. Maybe he owns his own company. Maybe he is, I don't know, a doctor, a surgeon, a lawyer, whatever. Maybe he's whatever he is, whatever his profession is. He's not trying to waste his time either. He's trying to be strategic and smart. And if you are smart, you might try it. Try it at Shay Your Love Diva. All right, so okay, so I talked about screenshots. So I pulled up some things. And this is not the one that I want. Okay, so, I saw this beautiful thing, and I don't know if it's true or not. I'm going to read it. But the sun. Okay. Y'all, every time. Let me adjust this. So I saw this thing about George Clooney and his wife. And it was really interesting. It's really interesting. So I'm just going to read it. Could be fake, but maybe it'll be inspiring. Okay? It actually reminds me of there's this couple, ADHD, I think it's _love. The lady has half blue hair, half black hair. So she's neurodivergent. He's whatever he is. He's great. They're great. They live in the UK somewhere. And they did a skit. I'm laughing because their stuff is so good. But they did this skit where you get to observe, if you will, her thinking about how she wishes she were more like her husband, who is this, that, and the other. And her husband on the other side, you see his musings about he recognizes with her superpower brain that she's really good at, XYZ. So, all right, let's see. Let me zoom this in and read it. All right. Again, the caveat here, it may not be real, but I'm going to read it anyway. On November 15, 2024, George Clooney made a confession during a private therapy session that he later shared public with, I guess I could have looked it up. Oh no, did my phone die? Are you kidding me right now? Oh, my phone died. That's okay. And is this even still recording? It is. I can go to my text messages. Haha, hacks. All right. No photos or videos. Are you kidding me? I saved it. But it's like on this, it's on a, it's on like an iCloud link, so it's not doing it. All right, so y'all, I need to take off my glasses. All right, I don't know how close I am to the camera because I'm in my text message. All right, so let's see. All right, here's another one. Antoinette X Arrington on Threads. Him. This is a funny one. So this is a screenshot from Threads because I'm moving on from the George Clooney thing. But I did realize that I could have looked it up. Did he really say something in some article? Why don't y'all read that? I might come back to it. All right. So there we go. I need to zoom. I need to make this bigger to read it. This is what dating folks are having to deal with. All right, him. I want to take you out. Let me know your availability this week. Me. I'm walking into a meeting. Look for it within the hour. And then 45 minutes later, she sends a message. Him. 2 days go by. It's crickets. Him. I'm ready to talk plans. Had to make you wait a bit so you would know what to expect if, miss, I'm walking into a meeting. Oh, I said if. My bad. Let me just read that again. I'm ready to talk plans. Again, this is 2 days later. He's making her wait 48 hours. Had to make you wait a bit so you would know what to expect. Little miss, I'm walking into a meeting, LOL. So then she said, I'm walking into an era where I go elsewhere where someone offers me dog food and dumb shit. Expect to never have access to me again, Little Miss Ninja. And then there's an image where it says the invitation is rescinded. So, y'all, they be, and I'm not talking about men, people be playing games. Games. Just like that's what's out there. So grateful. Honey, thank you for loving me. Thank you for keep choosing me. That's not proper grammar. I'm a poet. I am grateful that you keep choosing me. Although sometimes I wonder, are you going to? Sometimes I am. I've got some insecurity, folks. It is true. I'm thinking about the insecurity. I'm thinking about how, and I've talked about it, though I don't know. I was messaging somebody today, in fact, about the insecurity, and I had spoken to her earlier this year, and I thought earlier this year, I wasn't sure if my marriage was going to make it. There was some stuff, some expectations of me that did not align with the life that I wanted as a spouse, as a partner. It wasn't partnership. The expectation wasn't partnership. And I think I've talked about this before on this episode, not this episode, but on this podcast. If I haven't, or if you, let's see, I'm trying to think. So there was a conversation, right? There was a conversation that was had, and yeah, it blew me away. And I was like, oh, okay, that's what you want, that's what you expect. Okay, I can give that to you. Which started the very next morning. And, but it looks different. And it looks different. Life looks different if that's what the expectation is. You can get all of those things, but it does that's like the base package, if you will. That's not the premier package. That's not the I'm married to my best friend who's my partner package. That's the anyway. That's the not in alignment with why I got married. I didn't get married to be a single mom. I need support. I need help. And it really shouldn't be called help, because it's our duty to raise these kids, be with these kids, not help. I keep using that word. It's all of the things. And anyway, I'm going to say within 36 hours or less, the tune changed, the music changed. And and follow-up was made and conversations were had, and it was very clear that he wanted the premium package. So grateful. Anyway, still insecurity comes up. It does. And maybe some of that is, other people that I know who are going through it, and, and people who you thought were like the perfect couple, they They never are, y'all. No matter how good it looks, no matter how good their pictures are, that's the highlight reel you're getting. You do not know what's going on behind closed doors. You just don't. And I had another conversation with someone, and they were asking about a friend of mine who's in an abusive relationship, and the person, they used to go to church. The guy was, she even mentioned it. Oh, well, he was close with the pastor, and yeah, because it's part of his facade, and to present himself a certain way and to win over the people who are in leadership and who control how things go, for him to control the narrative as well. And anyway, you don't know what's going on. So don't get caught up in the highlight reel, because actually there are whole TV shows, married life couples, and they are not about to stay married. So you got to fight. You got to fight, and you have to communicate. You have to express what your expectations are and have those conversations and find a way for both parties to win, So that is what's happening. And still. And he keeps proving himself, which is beautiful. It's so beautiful. And this is like what I want for other people, where you don't have a doubt about the business trip that they're going on, that you don't have to worry about, names in a cell phone being changed, to a man's name kind of thing, or, from the beginning, Jacob has proven his faithfulness and pursuit of me. And yeah, we have problems and we have struggles. And a little bit earlier, I don't know if it was in the recording or if it was in something that I said, I talked about going on dates, prioritizing that. And there have definitely been times in our life where it wasn't prioritized and we didn't do it. And yeah, that matters, and that can have an impact. So don't slip. You got to keep pursuing your woman, even when you marry her. So the glare, there's like such a glare. And now I'm trying to remember. So I read that one thing, but I want to access some more photos. But the sun is doing its thing. And I'm hoping, goodness. Okay, I have to pull the chair just some more. So I really am going to get the hang of this, y'all. But this is also just proof. One, I'm doing this very imperfectly, and there are some of you out there. I do not want to be this close to this bush, this thorny bush. I'll see that? It's like right here. All right, there's some of you who could do this podcasting thing, even better. And I'm here for it. I can't wait. I guess, send me a link to your new podcast. I love it. I want to see it. Okay, so I'm pulling up, since my phone died, I'm going to pull up these images to see if I can read you some of the things that I captured. Let's see, photos. I actually can access my photos on, that's what happened. It's on that iCloud thingy. 16 photos. What if I click here? Dang it. All right, did I favorite them? Let's see. Oh, here was a good one. Nick Nicktrawick. Nicktrawick. All right, so remember I was talking to you about women go on multiple dates, meaning with different men. This is, you're not having sex with these guys, right? So anyway, this is a man and named Nick, and he decided to go celibate. And so I'm just going to read you his thing. So at the end of this year, I'll hit 2 years abstinent, and the changes have been way deeper than I expect. Here are the 4 biggest things I noticed when I stopped using sex as a coping mechanism, a distraction, or a shortcut. Positive. My attraction got more honest and less delusional. Without sexual energy clouding anything, you see the people for who they actually are and not who your hormones want them to be. It forced me to slow down, be more intentional, and stop mistaking chemistry for compatibility. It made real connection feel possible again. So that was one of the positive things. Here was the first positive one, but it got cut off, so I only have a portion of this. My clarity came back in a way I didn't know I was missing. There's research showing that when you're not constantly chasing dopamine spikes, your baseline levels actually stabilize. I started hearing myself again. My intuition got louder. My decisions stopped coming from impulse, and I don't see the rest of that one. So I actually made 2 comments on his post, but I'm just going to read you the 2 negative things that he personally experienced. And so the first one was abstinence forces every hidden insecurity to come to the surface. When sex isn't a quick fix or a shortcut to feeling wanted, you're left with a raw question. Do I still feel enough when nobody is validating me physically? That's the part nobody glamorizes. It's spiritual work, shadow work, ego work, all happening at once. His other negative is your libido does not go quietly. The first stretch of abstinence felt like my body was hitting random switches just to see what would happen. There's a real neurological adjustment period where your reward pathways recalibrate, and that can make you irritable, restless, and randomly emotional in ways you can't logically explain. It's not cute, but it's real. And so then the last note was, if you read any of this and thought, damn, I feel that, then honestly, trying a season of abstinence might be worth exploring for yourself. Not as a lifestyle, not as a morale stance, just as a reset. It doesn't make you better than anyone. It just gives you a different kind of clarity, the kind that only shows up when you stop outsourcing validation. If you try it, even for a month, you might surprise yourself. So, one of my comments was, so true, and you don't stir up love or mixed or confused feelings before it's ready. Though women tend to fall in love via sex, while men fall in love in their pursuit and doing for the woman. And then my first comment was, I love this for you. I dated a man and then married him without even a kiss. No sex or kiss until our wedding day. And it was a profound experience where we got to let go of all the performance stress, focus on friendship and connection, and build a lifelong lasting trust in that mutual abstinence. If finding a partner with your same current purpose is of interest to you, I just want you to know it's possible. So, because I'm an encourager, right? And so again, my husband continues to prove himself, and so he has a good track record. And yes, he annoys me sometimes, and hell yes, I annoy the bejesus out of that man, and I frustrate him with my looks, with my facial expressions. So it's fine if it's directed at somebody else, but when it's on him, he don't like it too much. But he also loves my crazy faces. I make some super not cute ones, and it makes him chuckle. But there's work, and sometimes too, what can happen in a marriage, just being transparent, is when there are other stresses, especially for men, when other stresses exist. Some men can be. So my husband is an internal processor. I'm the external talk about it person, but different stresses can have a man go within, and as he's trying to fix it or work it out, and in doing that, I think there's not a dawning or a realization that he has separated himself from his partner, that he is being an island, and then therefore she is being forced to be an island, or forced to do things on her own without him. And yeah, so I think, or I know it, when a person can realize that, and I'm going to have a conversation with my husband when he comes home about this. When you realize that you're doing that, you can make a decision. You know what? I'm going to give this all day. While I'm at work, all day, I'm going to think about this, and I'm going to try to come up with solutions. And whether I do or not, when I get home and I see my partner, I am going to be intentional about connecting with him or her. And I am going to clue her or him in to what I've been feeling, to what I'm experiencing, to what my body is doing to me as I am analyzing, overanalyzing, thinking through these stress factors. And invite her, the partner, invite him, the partner, into that. And it's also okay to say, hey, you have great ideas, and I'm not ready for not one of them. Name one. I'm not ready. But I just want you to hear me out, because I don't want to be alone in this, and I don't want you to be accidentally alone waiting for me to come back around to my regular state, if that makes sense. So that's maybe part of dating in a marriage. But brothers, men out there, take your wife on a date. It don't have to be expensive. It doesn't. It doesn't. Take her on a date as often as possible. Get some babysitters if you still have kids in the house. Or get your oldest kid who's of age to watch your little kids. I'm talking to you, Jacob. All right. Okay, so now my phone is dead. I don't have a cord. I'm thinking about photos. Okay, so there we go. So now I'm going to go to just my photos feed. Y'all, I'm so excited I'm on YouTube. All right, let's see. Dun, dun, dun. Scrolling through my thing. Barb, I'm going to send you a picture of us from the bridge day. Oh, okay, Sarah Flynn, y'all. All right, y'all, I'm going to go to Threads, as a matter of fact, because I have got to look this one up. So Sarah Flynn _ y'all. And this particular topic that she posted to is called Dating Threads. I hope it is still recording because I am somewhere else. So let me look up Sarah. Ew, I saw someone's name that I do not like. It's you can call the person an influencer. All right. Okay, here we go. As a first message on a dating app, what kind of vibe is this giving off? I'm overwhelmed. Why do men over 50 act like this? All right, y'all. Buckle your seats. Buckle your seat belt. All right, here you go. Joshua. This is Joshua. Howdy, Sarah. I don't have any dogs. It's painful. I've been living vicariously through other friends' dogs, and I am rather fond of Ranch Mutt's Border Collie Aussie Healer mixes. I was at a 4th of July party years ago, and upon realizing that Taiga, College Bros Border Collie that I've backcountry snowboarded with a bunch, wasn't there anymore, I started bawling. Granted, the how do you say the mushroom thing? Psilocybin, maybe, I was on, may have played a role, question mark. I've actually fooled a few friends this summer when I was back in J-hole that I was suing my mom for not allowing me to get a dog or a cat as a kid. I have a dry sarcasm that works as a Jedi mind, F-U-C-K. To be completely transparent, I, in quotes, suffer from CBB, cute blonde babeitis, and optimistic that I might manifest a new cute blonde partner with a dog or two, as I do love dogs, and have this kryptonitic-like, quotes, weakness for cute blondes. I lost the last one due to an unexpected health issue that fucked me up for 3.5 years, which causes her to bail, which was understandable at the time, but then I miraculously healed myself about 13 months ago thanks to a new friend who pointed me in the right direction regarding new research coming out of Johns Hopkins. Now it appears I am supposed to write a memoir about this wild medical ride, as it's rather transformative. Anyway, ... I'm looking to do more energy healing work on dogs. Curious if I can relieve trauma, question mark. Humans and dogs are very similar in regard to childhood trauma and its effects later in life. Do you have a meditation practice or might be interested in developing one? I'm an ambassador of a meditating alongside a gurgling creek, river, or beach waves. It just makes it easier to, quote, drop in. You sit cross-legged on a bouldering crash pad, a butt cushion. It's the best way to start your day. Namaste. Y'all, and for anyone who's listening on some other podcast, I was just hard blinking into the camera. Again, I'm hoping that the camera is actually still rolling over here. Did y'all hear that? That was a first message. Do you understand? Do you understand? That was the first message this woman ever got. That was like a lot of screenshots. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 screenshots. That's a lot, right? I mean, I can't even. So then the comment sections on these things are like super great. So let's see if I can back out. All right, so, she put a second thread. So it says, I just like to add that when I didn't respond, he kept going. And here it is. Of note, I lived in, and she crossed it out, for about 4 months, about a year or so after graduating from RISD. I washed dishes at a restaurant called the Swede Finn, as I recall, and was on the gondola crew. A college friend then called, and 2 weeks later, I was flying into Sydney, Oz, for a 6-week surfing and organic farming adventure along the East Coast up to Byron Bay. It was financed by my friend's research grant. Would love to repeat this adventure with someone special. Do you know how to surf? Y'all, I can't make this up. I mean, she could have made it up. It's a screenshot. I mean, you can make up screenshots. I learned that the hard way. All right, so let me go into this so y'all can hear some of the responses. Because somebody, Emily, so EmilovyXO, EmilovyXO, so Emily, but the word love in between, XO at the end. Okay, so anyway, she wrote, and she has screenshots, okay? She wrote, I got a similarly overwhelming first message from the exact same person. The quote, do you have a meditation practice, end quote, was all too familiar, LOL, and almost felt bad for not responding, but what the heck, man? It shouldn't feel like a homework assignment to read or respond to someone's message. He's doing too much. And then it was this emoji. All right, so let's look at his thing to her. So to Emily, he wrote groovy. Warning, I can easily talk about my bamboo R&D shit for an hour or more. What is R&D? Hold on. It's not Dungeons and Dragons. No, that's D&D. Okay, I just want to make sure I'm not going to meet this guy in a Dungeons and Dragons group, which I want to do. All right, anyway. Sorry, y'all. I'll start over. Groovy. Warning, I can easily talk about my bamboo R+D shit for an hour or more. I've actually done this on a stage a few years ago in Nobo at the Nomad Theater in a TED type event. This project has been on hold for about 10 years for a variety of reasons, but communicating with the bamboo factory in Vietnam about dialing in a simplistic Bambatat refugee kit home that would be flat, packable, and shippable anywhere in the world, which is spelled wrong, WHIRLED, that needed emergency, indestructible, long-term, affordable, and sustainable housing. Also getting very excited about bamboo-framed biodome greenhouses to support local organic food needs. I'm starting to really think that this guy is just a massive troll. And that makes me laugh, except for the fact that he's wasting women's times. But maybe he's doing it to men too. Okay, so then I just had to break. Let me just get back to his message. Are you familiar with the Mork and Mindy show? Oh my gosh, he's really dating himself. I'm swirling around Jackson Hole until Monday, and then we'll be in Lyons, Boulder, Denver for a week or so. Then coffee in Colorado Springs with a bro in the outdoor industry PR arena. Then moving to, and she blanked it out until June 1st. You're based in, she blanked it out, question mark. Do you have a meditation practice? My cell if you feel like chatting instead of texting. Oh my gosh, can you imagine hearing this man's voice? No, thank you. No. All right. Someone texted a screenshot and it was so great. So it's like 3 messages, right? I ain't reading all that. I'm happy for you though, or sorry that happened, depending on which way. All right. Someone said being married in 2025 feels like I caught the last helicopter out of Saigon. All right. Someone wrote, hi, I am emotionally unstable. I do drugs in public. I say unreliable things and call these falsehoods humor and describe such trickery as my Jedi mindfuck. My taste in women boils down to hair color. That's the beginning and end of it. My last girlfriend left me. Also, I am super into woo. Namaste. All right. Okay. No. Yeah, anyway, just lots of stuff, lots of red flags all over that thing. All right, so now that I'm in here, now I'm just going to click on dating threads and see if I can find some more juicy stuff since my pictures aren't. Would you marry someone who is willing to wait for God with you? And then, I don't know, I think that's like a guy who's, Clearwater Beach, interesting. He's trying to get married. But he's wearing a kilt. I mean, my husband also wears a kilt sometimes. He is straight up wearing a kilt. Interesting. Very, very interesting. I don't know. Actually, you know what? What's cool is someone posts. You can click on their name. His name is Jack. He's in Florida, like I said. Global traveler, a man who loves... No. This man said, oh my gosh, this is a serial killer, y'all. A man who loves collecting perfumes. What does he mean by that? What does he mean? Are those the trinkets that he keeps after he murders a woman? I hope he just never finds me because I have just outed him. Oh no. Okay, so I'm looking at his other stuff, which he looks way different in this. Is he a ginger? I can't. Okay, which is fine. Anyway, honestly, do you like me in this? OMG. And then it's like 2 photos that look identical. And it's posted from Miami, Florida. That's 3 days ago. And then 2 hours ago, it's this other thing. And I guess I'm so confused. So there's only 2. So, but there's 17. Hold on. There's 17 comments. But it's not letting me see the comments. Or is... Okay, hold on now. Then you can look at replies. So you can go in and see what the other person is saying or doing. But this all just looks like spaces. I don't understand. Let's see, media. Oh, you know what it was? It's because all the words were on the other side. Because it was like in another language. I really don't want to go too deep into this. Y'all. That is... What do you mean you like collecting perfumes? Okay. Okay. Stellar.sam. Dating threads. Something I've noticed over my past year of dating is that men don't typically seem to ask questions. If we're on a date, hanging out on the phone or texting, and it feels like I'm just interviewing you and you're not asking me anything or just talking about yourself, how can anything come of it? The how's your day check-ins feel weird when you know nothing about me or my life. Maybe it's just me. No, it ain't just you. Okay. Then some other guy has a picture of himself in a tux. Okay. He's not, it's not necessarily Henry, what's that guy's name? The Superman. Oh my gosh, I can't think of his last name, but y'all know who I'm talking about. But this guy does have dark hair and blue eyes. All right. So that's the picture he's putting on there, and let's see what he says. Hi, I just registered this account. I'm Luca. Y'all, it's a scam. It's fake. I got catfished by a person named Luciano. Them pictures, boy. Ooh, that model was fine. That is not who I was talking to. Luca sounds like a catfish name. I'm curious how close we are. Where are you from? I'm not stalking you. Just curious how far apart we are. Don't go. Tell me where you're from. Florida Gulf Coast University. Y'all, this is what's happening. All right. As a 44-year-old divorced man, people seem very concerned about the age of the women I date. Usually the first question after finding out I'm dating someone is, how old is she? She's 72. Mind your business. Oh, that's great. Humor. I love humor. All right. Okay. On the latest episode of Online Dating Chronicles, we vibed in messages and exchanged numbers. First call was brief but cool. Second call, him. When's the last time you went on a date? Me. I don't know if it was a date, but met a guy while I was out 2 weeks ago, talked for an hour and exchanged numbers. Next day, he asked to see me again before he went back home, so we met for drinks. Him. Oh, that's a cornball blank that lead with money, don't have any confidence. I would never buy drinks. All right, let's go into the second thread. For a woman I don't even know, that's a cornball behavior. Me. So he's a cornball with no confidence because he enjoyed meeting me, didn't hesitate to ask to see me again and spend $40 on drinks, is leading with money. Him. Yeah, I don't buy women drinks or take them out until I know they like me. Me. Silence. Well, I'm about to get my workday started. I hope you have a great day. Drive safe. Ended call and block. No grown confident man would put down another man to big himself up. Ooh. Someone wrote, the cornball call is coming from inside the house. All right, that was brutal. All right, dear women, avoidant men are the problem. Stop being more for someone who gives you less. Ooh, preach. Say it again, sister. Dear women, avoidant men are the problem. Stop being more for someone who gives you less. That's not a knock on avoidant. I don't even know what all those things are. All right, so let's see. Dun, 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 dun. Ooh, okay. I'm in my 30s and still haven't learned the most important life lesson. Men do not understand hints. You can drop clues, leave breadcrumbs, send smoke signals, nothing. You basically have to look them dead in the eye and say, here is what I want. Please do exactly this, because otherwise, they're not putting two and two together. They're out here trying to solve a completely different math problem. Y'all, I have to comment on this because there are relationships, plural, that I know about where the person spells it out to the man, I promise you, to the T, to the letter, multiple times. I want this. I need this. I require this. And that particular person absolutely does not do those things that are being asked for. So, the math ain't math, and even when you put the whole equation and it's super basic, simple for some people. I'm sure there's a lot of dating rock stars that are out there, but all right. Let's see. Men are choosing to stay single. Women are choosing to stay single. Why not be together and love each other correctly instead of falling into the new norms of toxicity in relationships or loneliness as the alternative? It's a question that's put in here. All right, let's see. All right, so it kind of looks like, dang, girl, you are so gorgeous. Is my age a problem? I'm 59, born in 1966. Girl, you do not look like you are 59, girl. Dang. Okay, Colette. Nobody, I know, that's for sure. Can y'all please introduce me to him? All right, listen. It's a meme. He don't cheat. He doesn't party. He works and stays home. Who is he? My husband. He goes to work and then he comes home. But he also goes out and spends time with other people. And I encourage him to do that and to have friends and build friendships. So, all right. When a man is truly serious about you, nothing will push him away, not even you. Keep that in mind. Yes. Yes, man. That is the truth. All right, Trey Tyrell 8. That was awesome. Someone wrote, creative guy, I'm not just single, I'm single pro max, but I'm open to changing that. All right, it kind of looks like this is now becoming, so what I thought I was entering into is like, not like people are putting this out like it's their own personal dating profile, right? I was just going to hear stories about dating. All right, why I'm single. This is not underscore Kaimi. I don't know. Why I'm single. I truly give up. Mind you, I even asked to FaceTime, call, go to a park, and to go get food, and which just pay for ourselves. Oh no, is this a man or a woman? But alas, it was supposed to be alas, but the person wrote, but Atlas. Okay, so, hey, good morning. You got a Cash App? Why? Apple took $19 just trying to get my $2 would I left cash at home. Are you serious right now? Dead ass. I only get Apple Pay. So let me get this straight. Never even meet each other. Never had a phone call or FaceTime. Can't even meet at a park. See where I'm going? Bro, I don't give up. Dude, I'm in public. In a line. Never mind, bro. LOL, bye. Okay, that was crazy experience. But also, boo, you just said you truly give up. Oh, man. That sucks. Men asking for your number and then calling you in front of you is kind of crazy. Oh, that's because they want to make sure you ain't giving them a fake number. If your presence doesn't calm her nervous system, your masculinity needs work. Ooh. Be honest for a moment. Would you take back someone you still love, even knowing they might hurt you again? All right. All right, let's see. All right. A man who lusts after you cannot lead you spiritually, emotionally, or relationally. Why? Because scripture says, men without self-control are like a city without walls. Proverbs 25:28, meaning no boundaries, no protection, no stability, no wisdom, no ability to guard you or himself. Where is page 2 of this? A man who cannot guard his own purity cannot guard your heart. A man who cannot lead with his, a man who cannot lead his flesh cannot lead a woman. A man who is ruled by desire cannot lead you into destiny. And that's a little nod to abstinence, I guess. Is that about abstinence? Anyway, it's not necessarily about abstinence, but all right. So, Ciara, can we talk about how awkward dating is? I have a tea date today, and I'm literally like, what the heck do I even say? If I accidentally start talking about healing and shadow work, just know I panicked. That's cute. Ooh, okay, let's read this. Corey talks now. All right. Don't measure a man's love by what he gives you when he's winning. I'm not saying a wealthy man can't love you right, but it's easy to be generous when life is good. It's easy to show up when he's comfortable and everything is falling into place. The real test is when life shifts, when he's not winning, when he's discouraged, stretched thin, or dealing with cards he didn't ask for. A man who still pours into you then, when he barely has anything left for himself, that's a man who truly loves you. That's interesting. I don't know. I'm not. Dating as a single parent is doable yet hard, especially when you don't let anyone around your kids. Like, I want to see you, but I have to handle home first. Yes, girl, handle your business. All right, having an adult healthy relationship. Let's look at this. You're my whole world. I'm sorry if I'm not doing a great job of showing it. You're stressed out about so many things, and I understand that. I need to learn to speak up. I need to not let that be an excuse. Well, it's life. We can allow it. I need to find a way to cope so I can show you the love you deserve. No, I don't accept that. I'm going to be better, baby. I've never been more in love with you than I am right now. I love you endlessly, baby. I'm sorry I haven't been the man you deserve lately, baby. I forgive you 1,000 times over. I love you so much. See, that's nice. That's a text thread. Obviously, this is one person and this was the other with my hands. Sorry if y'all aren't seeing the video. All right. Ooh. Well, okay. Ooh. Oh, no. Ooh. Okay, so no. I was going to read that, but it turned different. All right. All right. I think I'm done, y'all. Wait, Black Women's Dating 101. You raise the bar and suddenly you'd rather be single than ever return to what your spirit has outgrown. Start normalizing leaving some people in whatever weird reality they have chosen to be in. All right. High standards do not scare grown men. They expose childish ones. And then let me just say this. Any male person who calls himself a grown man, like, oh, I'm a grown man. They're not. They're probably not. They're probably, what did he say? A childish one. A man baby. Ooh. All right, let's see. All right. I see, now I'm invested. That's silly. Ladies, you don't need a dating app. Post a ladder for sale on Facebook Marketplace. That's real silly because you're just going to get a whole bunch of old people or the wives of somebody else. All right. Ooh, dating men in the Bay has always been a humiliation ritual. Yikes. All right. Did I say this out loud? I don't know. Someone told me yesterday that a female saying sir to a male is flirting. I say sir a lot. I literally just did it on a post about snow. Males out there, do you consider that flirting? I don't even want to know the answers. Ooh, a man who respects you doesn't need a reminder to be a man. He just is. Stop accepting the excuse that he's still learning. He's a grown adult. Or is he? Is he stuck in a man's body, but in a child's emotional age category? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Ooh, honey, you deserve a man who does not mind hurting other women's feelings to protect yours. All right, let's see. So some of this is like just desperate. Serious question. Being that I'm 48, what age ranges should I look in? WTF, why are you asking the internet that question? What that tells me is you are probably wanting to know what is the lowest age you could go without looking like a creep, which means you might just be into little girls. Oh my gosh. All right. That's weird. Okay. Dating 105. That's what this episode is called. I think I might have even created an image for it already. I talked about Shay. What time is it? It's 2:13. I got to pick up my kids soon. Dating out here is rough. Y'all be safe. Make sure that Luca is real. FaceTime that man. Make sure it's not the Luciano who was catfishing me before. Love yourself. Love yourself. And you know what? If you've got some work to do on yourself, do the work on yourself. If you've got some healing to do, baby, go get that healing, because you do not want to attract someone who is intent on hurting you further or taking advantage of the fact that you need healing. And don't get yourself a hobosexual. Promise you, don't do it. I think we need to normalize not collecting a whole bunch of red flags as if it's like a carnival fair treat. You know what I mean? You got a flower bouquet of red flags. Normalize saying bye when you get that gut feeling that he told me he collects perfume bottles. That don't sound right. Leave, girl, black. Don't ever go back to that same spot where you ever saw him. If he is in your gym, you met him at the gym, girl, change your membership. That sounds crazy. Heal. Invest in yourself. Be intentional with your time and with your heart, and protect your heart, and know that you are worthy of like a healthy, loving, beautiful relationship. You are worthy of someone waiting for you before you do anything that you're not ready to do. And if you have an issue with the gender that you're dating, that you want to date, right? If you have a generalized view that there's like not many good ones out there, stop dating. Please stop dating. Go get support. Go get counseling. Go, I don't know. Go get healed from that hurt that you've got, so that you can attract someone who themselves is healed, and or who is on on the right side of a healing journey, right? So you can attract someone who's healthy and who's available. I wish you all the very best, and I'm exhausted, and I can't wait to take a nap after I pick up my babies, and I remain unapologetically yours. Thank you.